Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. Sir Gavin Gillig, son of Sir Trevor Gillig, first of his name, destroyer of porcelain, tamer of the beast Chewbacca, slayer of bucks, and scourge to all things that smell nice and clean, cordially invites you, Miss Gianna Masterlasco, to the Royal Gala, filled with fun fellowship and fellow acquaintances, on 6th May 2023, the year of our Lord. What is your response, madam?
Yes.
Ah, wonderful. Gentlemen, horse. Crown.
Thank you, sir.
I will see you soon, ma'am.
Well, hello there, partner. Go on and hang up your hat, grab yourself a whiskey, and pull up in the easy chair. We're coming off the range of 9 to 5s with a whole herd of news stories that we've been steaming over like a cow patty in the Texas heat. As they say, the chickens are finally coming home to roost. And we're here to ruffle some feathers and ensure accountability ain't just a concept, it's reality. It's that time where the day's drama casts its longest shadow. So let's light a candle to the chaos of current events, the whirlwind of politics, and the tangled webs of corruption that we find ourselves entwined by. It's time to ramble our way into the twilight. Welcome to Sunset Rants.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Sunset Rants. I'm your host, Biddy. I'm here with my co-host today, Nevassa. What's up?
Yar! I have no idea why I do a Wednesday irate pirate intro. But it be hump day.
How are hump day.
Miss Vicky?
I'm good, thank you. You know, that cold open was so adorable. It actually, for a second, just makes me want to go back in time to high school and see if I could possibly get one of those proposals. That was adorable. I mean, they're really going out these days.
The innocence, the pure innocence of that entire skit. That cold open.
It was adorable. It was so great.
I couldn't do anything about it. It was too wholesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. Aww. Hey, Rick. What's up, everybody? Yeah, it's
as I was posting in Rumble with Dougie Frez over there, the banana emote was almost in sync with the horse trot.
Yeah, I know. I saw you wrote that. Yeah, that was cute. I love that. And if I were her, I would have had a yes in my head from the moment I opened the door and that trumpet started going. I was like, that is like the cutest thing. How do you even say no to that? That, like, even if it's not somebody you'd want to go with, that is like such a production. And it's like, I would just be like, yeah, gotta. Like, that is too cool.
It's easy to say no.
Up your cool points.
You wanna know why?
Why?
Because you weren't taught what good, honest intention looks like.
No, but I have a suspicion
you were never taught what
they were like dating
like.
or something. Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay,
I have a because she looks so
looks like.
Yeah, like she looks so ready to say yes. But yeah, so thank you guys as always for joining us here on Sunset Rants, of course, and you could find the show on X at @therealroma_AK. You can follow me on X if you like, Elizabeth213A, and Nevassa on X at Lord Nevassa, spelt just as you see it on the screen, with just the Lord in the front. But yeah, so let's get to it because we got a lot to talk about today, and we got to make sure we end the show in time for you and your double header.
Okay, we're 19 subs away from 1,000 on YouTube. Let's
Yes!
make it happen, people.
Yes, yes. Thank you for reminding me. I did see that today. You guys share this show with your friends if you can. If we can get those subs up, that would be an amazing milestone. If we can get it on this show, that would be even cooler. But yeah, so why don't we get started with the first story? This is the big story. This is the one everyone's talking about, of course. Coming to you from Fox News. Who was Joshua John, shooter in deadly Dallas ICE facility attack? So sources familiar with the investigation into the Dallas immigration facility shooting identified Wednesday today alleged attacker as Joshua John, 29 years old. The gunman killed one person, injured two others after opening fire on a U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement ICE facility from a nearby building before taking his own life, police say. The agency earlier mistakenly said two detainees had been killed. John fired indiscriminately, we've been seeing that word a lot, at the ICE building, as well as at a van in the Sallyport where the victims were shot. The Department of Homeland Security said the three detainees were in a unmarked transport van when they were shot before John took his own life around 7 a.m. this morning. According to the sources, he was found dead with a rifle on the nearby rooftop, authorities said. A photo posted on X by FBI Director Kash Patel showed what appeared to be rifle caliber ammunition affixed to a clip. The rounds were engraved with an anti-ICE message. John may have been living in Durant, Oklahoma at the time of the shooting, according to records. That's what we're looking into. Dallas Police Chief David Como told Fox 4. A Wednesday shooting happened only miles from Alvarado, Texas, where just 2 months ago an individual ambushed a separate ICE facility targeting officers. In total, 16 people have been charged in that ambush-style shooting of an Alvarado police officer who was responding to reports of vandalism at the facility. So yeah, this is unfortunately nothing new. As they said, the van was unmarked, and it was also heavily sighted, so the shooter possibly wouldn't have been able to see who they were shooting at. I know there's a lot of, people in media and others are trying to kind of redirect, and try to make assumptions about what the motive is of the shooter. We do have that photo, as you can see up here, with the casings there that say anti-ICE on them. But as soon as things come out, they want to kind of create a narrative on it, both sides. So it's still an open investigation. We still don't have like an actual concrete motive, except for that. They are looking into a lot of his social media posting and history and things like that, talking to family members, friends, possibly looking into other internet like Discord and stuff like that, and see if he had any activity on there. If you think about coming off of Charlie Kirk's assassination, they were looking heavily into Discord for that. So I'm sure they're doing the same. Police Chief Daniel Como said at approximately 6:40 a.m. they received the call that responded to it, arrived at the scene. They learned that 4 individuals were shot. The one was deceased out of the people that were shot, and the other one was the shooter himself. FBI and local law enforcement are working together on this investigation that is ongoing. The SAC of the Dallas Field Division, Joe Rathrock, was the special agent in charge, saying this is being investigated as a targeted attack. They have confirmed to find the shell casings with markings, as we showed. He said there'd be a whole government response, and there will be no resource not utilized to bring all these individuals who are responsible to justice. They've not released, at the time of the press conference, they didn't release identification of the those that were shot, but they did confirm that no members of law enforcement were hurt. Of course, the reporters, they really, really wanted to hear them say that it was the detainees, but at the time of the press conference earlier, they didn't say that. And now we hear that that's what's going on. But yeah, I don't know if you kind of like looked into this at all, or you've seen kind of activity on social media today or anything that you heard.
Well, this is one of the reasons why I despise Sean Hannity as a commentator. Because between Fox News and Sean Hannity himself. When I got off of my work today, first thing I heard, Sean Hannity explaining that there were at least 2 immigrant detainees that were deceased, alongside one other that was critically injured. They had already said at the time, so this would have been about 4:30-ish p.m. Central, that very similar to the Charlie Kirk assassination, the guy, his brother, said that he had gone off the rail, quote, quote, became stupid leftist. And then was also posting communist and pro-Marxist stuff on his Twitter and his social medias. All of this coming from Sean Hannity. Apparently, his lover was also trans, coming from Sean Hannity. So it's like, if we don't know, we don't know. Why are you pressing the flames?
Yeah, like there is a thing, journalism, right? You know, they can do their own investigations as well from whatever they see. But, you know, at the start of these kinds of things, a lot of, you know, like Facebook and whatnot gets scrubbed by the authorities because they want to have like control of it, whatever they need to do in the ongoing investigation. The news media, of course, they want to be the first one to come out with what it is. They want to be the first one to stoke, you know, the flames of the narrative. They want to be the first one to get their information out. You know, and we say this numerous times on this show that at Sunset Rants, we're really dedicated to make sure that whatever we do kind of report to you guys is what is actually being confirmed. We don't jump the gun, so to speak, on, you know, what we think. I mean, we can make speculations, whatever, and kind of opinions, but at the same time, you know, we do make sure to mention that this has not been confirmed yet. This is still an ongoing investigation. And because of everything that's going on in this country right now and all the tension, like, is it really that smart to just like right away just come to your conclusions, to just like drum it through the media sound bites like over and over and over again before you have like full on confirmation? Is it really that smart? You know, like we really need to just kind of take a second and let the police and law enforcement do their job. You know, whatever we feel about what's going on, and you know, some people might feel like they don't really trust certain things or whatever, like, you know, just take a second and just wait for everything to come out, and then we can start really talking about the details of it all. But like until then, just sip it. Just sip it.
Only thing I'm going to say on that front is that there will come a day when yellow journalism, or whatever this piss stream media, as I've come to know them as, they will cross a line in this sensationalism that they cannot defend themselves from a defamation lawsuit that meets what's called the actual malice standard that was set by New York Times v. Sullivan. And when
malinformation,
they will have a 10-digit lawsuit on their hands. And when that gets ratified or upheld in the court proceedings, who's going to start owning these news media outlets? Because it ain't going to be CNN.
Right. I mean, yeah, and it goes for any media outlet, whatever side they tend to lean on. Like, you have to just take a minute, and you have to you have great power with the amount of people that are hearing your voice. You know, with great power comes great responsibility, and it doesn't mean to totally censor yourself, but be kind of like, you know, more on the ball. I mean, you know, we're a small time podcast. We're growing, absolutely, but you know, they have all the resources and the fact checkers and, you know, access to all of this stuff, and they have people working night and day and, you know, doing research in the back end and, you know, giving them fact check moments and stuff like that. Like, utilize all of that and be responsible with the information that you're giving. But yeah, so there was a couple of things. So I saw, so apparently it was like 500 feet or, somewhat 200 yards away. The building where officers said shots were fired from were law offices, the buildings there. And it was very early in the morning. So they were saying that it would have been still dark with kind of like light shining down on the lot there, kind of like spotlight. And you wouldn't be able to see like who was on top of, like if there was anybody on top of that building. And also another thing that's kind of odd, which I was asking questions about, is like there was no obstructions. It was basically like totally open. And I know this is kind of fairly new where we're seeing like a rise in these sniper shooters that are on top of buildings and doing this. So, they do need to kind of figure out like where we go from here, as far as not just, as Christy Nome said, they're going to be upping the amount of officers they have, but really looking into keeping these facilities more secure. Maybe looking into the idea of having a bulletproof vans if they're going to have, officers in there, or bulletproof vehicles. I know it's like a costly thing, but they have to look into this because, constantly requesting, as so many have in the press conference this morning, to tone down the rhetoric. I mean, that's all well and good, but are they really going to tone down the rhetoric? Anyone? They're not. They're going to keep this going.
There's an easy answer. There is a truly easy answer to this. It's dystopic, but it will work.
What?
Any public service, company, or platform that is found to have aided or abetted the radicalization process of these people ought to be held accountable, both monetarily and, to a certain extent, judicially, as a person, let alone the company. And what that would do is it would crush the free press as we know it today. It would crush the entire education system because bias is built in.
They could also reverse the Smith-Mundt Act.
For sure. Again, I do not know what I do not know. So for 30-second explanation of the Smith-Mundt Act. Do you have one?
So basically it was something that was reversed during the Obama era, where it basically, just in a nutshell, allowed propaganda within media. It allowed them to voice their own opinions, and kind of curtail stories to fit narratives. Not in those words, but that's basically what it did. So if we can get that reverse back, and maybe we can get all of this, this misinformation crap and the fake news and stuff like under a head.
Well,
but
here's what I can tell you. We can argue about the fake news all we want with regards to Joshua, Yuan, or
John,
whatever his name was, the assassin sniper for the immigrants in Dallas. But we know for a fact that Ryan Routh was just found guilty at his trial in Florida. So from CNN, would-be Trump assassin tries to stab himself in neck after guilty verdict.
Yep.
Oh.
This is very interesting too. Yeah.
Again,
he represented himself. Yeah, go ahead.
That was dumb. All I'm saying is he did try using one of these. But from Fort Pierce, Florida, Ryan Routh, the 59-year-old accused of attempting to kill Donald Trump as the former and future president, played a round of golf on his Florida course last year. The second attempt on Trump's life during his second campaign, never forget Butler, Pennsylvania, July 13th, has been found guilty on all charges against him. Routh tried to stab himself in the neck with a pen after the verdict was read, but authorities did stop him. Kudos. A sketch artist who was in the first row of the courtroom said Routh had, quote, no emotion, unquote, during the verdict. Lothar Spear started a drawing when he heard Routh's daughter yell from behind, quote, oh my God, he's trying to kill himself. He's trying to kill himself. Someone stop him, please. Thanks. Oh my God, that photo, that sketch is beautiful. Like,
that's
even
crazy.
for just quick writing.
It's amazing how fast that they're able to do that. It's crazy.
And accurately fast.
Mm-hmm.
Like that takes skill, people. Mm-hmm. And because this was a federal case, you couldn't get video recording. That's against federal law. But anyways, an IT specialist who witnessed Routh try to stab himself said the defendant was tackled by marshals and dragged out of the courtroom's side entrance. When he returned to court, he was shackled. Quote, I didn't see any blood. No one in there saw blood, unquote. John Gruss told CNN. Routh's daughter Sarah yelled out, quote, I love you and we will get you out. Don't worry. According to Gruss, she was escorted out of the courtroom. Probably distraction. Routh, who represented himself at the federal trial in Fort Pierce, Florida, was facing 5 charges, including attempted assassination of a major presidential candidate, assaulting a federal officer, possessing a firearm and ammunition as a felon, and possession of a firearm with an obliterated serial number. Authorities say Routh created a sniper's nest, quote unquote, near the 6th green of Trump International Golf Club, but never fired a shot at Trump. Jurors deliberated for under 3 hours to get the guilty verdict, and Routh will be sentenced on December 18th by Judge Eileen Cannon. Faces possibility of life in prison.
Yeah, and that life in prison, you could just get that with just the first count, the first charge.
So, Brian, if we could real quick, you pull that article back up. I want to go through those 5 charges real quick. So the first one being the attempted assassination, easy. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Mm-hmm.
Assaulting a federal officer, easy. No ifs, ands, or buts. Possessing a firearm and ammunition as a felon, to me, I believe that is not in line with historical text and tradition and should be challenged eventually as both a Bruin decision and as a Eighth Amendment constitutional issue with regards to cruel and unusual punishment, because being a convicted felon now restricts your rights forever just because of the fact that you committed a felony, but you've paid your debt to society. Right. That to me is wrong.
Yeah.
And then the possession of a firearm with an obliterated serial number, that shouldn't even matter, because there shouldn't be a database of guns attached to people in the first place, because that itself is in violation of federal law, but we don't enforce that. But I digress. As far as Routh himself, rotten hell. Simple enough. You try to kill another man, doesn't matter who it was, whether it was 10-year-old Timmy or presidential candidate Donald Trump. You try to kill another man, especially with malice aforethought and pure intent.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's a whole lot of strings that go with Ryan Routh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, yeah. No, it's okay. I was just gonna say something, but I can wait. Go ahead. You said there were a whole bunch of strings on what?
So Ryan Routh himself has a whole lot of strings attached to him, because apparently, I may get my facts wrong, and I would be more than happy to be proven wrong, but he tried to go to Ukraine, fight for Ukraine using American weaponry against Russia. He was trying to start an international conflict and drag the U.S. in himself. That's number one. Number two, apparently he had his ammo and guns in both North Carolina and Hawaii, but tried to take Trump out in Florida. Or he had warrants in North Carolina and Hawaii. Something to that effect. But there's a lot of internet dark web, or quote r/dark Dark Intellectual, whatever the hell the subreddit is, that were saying that Ryan Routh is one heck of a psyop and almost a backup plan in case July 13th in Butler, Pennsylvania didn't work. Like, there's some data that's... Oh, it's horrible. Yeah. It is despicable where we're going.
It's crazy because, you know, so the thing that I was going to say before is, so he represented himself, right? So, which means he had to do an opening statement, a closing statement, and, you know, ask questions to the witness and cross-examine and the whole nine. So he said in his closing arguments, and by the way, it's just noted that during this trial, he spoke in third person. So I'm going to read a quote. This is what he was actually saying about himself. So he said, "It was golden. It was so easy. He could have completed the job. Yeah, 100%. Just pull the trigger, but no intent. The individual could not pull the trigger. It is not in the defendant's heart." So he was trying to argue that until that trigger is pulled and I guess the other person, the target, is actually hit, that he shouldn't be charged with any crime. And I think that he's kind of like trying, well, I mean, I could just be saying something stupid, but like, you know, I think about things like the movie Minority Report, where it's like they go after people who, you know, they have this whole thing where they could read people's minds and see their intent. If they're thinking of harming someone, they go after them. But this is not this. This is like so many stages away from that. This is you set up a sniper's nest, as they call it. Not to mention all the things that you were just pointing out, you know, their history and the trail that he left and social media ties and, you know, different financial, you know, follow the money and this and that. But he was set there. He had a full arsenal. He you know, and he tried to pull the trigger against his target. So it's like you're an idiot for representing yourself, but you really are trying to go down this road of like, just because I didn't actually pull the trigger, a bullet came out and it hit the target, that you should just be set free. Is that your whole argument? Like, it's so crazy to me, and I'm glad that the jury, like, they definitely weren't buying it, and they deliberated fairly quickly, and just full on, like, 5 counts guilty.
So I will say to Rick, this was not a judicial speed run in the sense of the overall trial going from arrest to conviction. It took a little more than a year, which is about expected. But the fact that the jury deliberation time was only 3 hours, oh yeah, that's a speed run.
Mm-hmm.
But I really don't want to talk about speed runs when it comes to Mother Nature.
Oh.
But Taiwan might know a thing or two now about speed running water.
Oh, nice segue. Yeah. Yes.
That was really bad, and I'm sorry.
No, please. I always encourage the co-host to do the segues because I suck at it. I'm just like,
no. That was a really, really bad. No. It was perfectly timed and appropriate segue. It was just done in poor taste. Speaking of poor tasting seawater, Typhoon Ragasa hits China, killing at least 20 in Taiwan and the Philippines. Schools and flights were canceled across southern China, and many businesses were closed ahead of the storm. Thank Christ. One of the world's strongest this year. So, having been stationed in Guam personally, we definitely do have typhoon season, which is about now.
Yeah.
From Hong Kong, streets in southern China were deserted Wednesday as Typhoon Ragasa, one of the world's strongest storms this year, slammed into the region after having carved a deadly path between the Philippines and Taiwan, which we'll get to a map in a sec, but that's actually really thin, not to mention. At least 17 people were confirmed dead in Taiwan, the National Fire Agency said Wednesday, all in eastern Hualien County, where floodwaters from a barrier lake surged into Guangfu Township. Holy crap.
Yeah.
And here I thought that my truck took this morning. At least 3 deaths were reported
I've seen so
earlier
many
in the
crazy videos.
At least 3 deaths were reported a day earlier in the Philippines, where the storm also displaced thousands of people in the north of the country. So about a few islands there. China's National Meteorological Center, if I can talk, said Wednesday afternoon that Ragasa had weakened from a super typhoon to a strong typhoon, but that it was still packing winds up to 112 miles an hour. The storm made landfall in China's Guangdong province around 5 p.m. local time, 5 a.m. Eastern, after which it was expected to move into the Gulf of Tonkin between South China and Vietnam. Authorities warned of heavy rain and strong winds across southern China. If someone in the chat can do me a small favor, 112 mile per hour winds, what category hurricane does that equate to here in the States? Anyways, the storm earlier passed the Chinese. Maybe. The storm earlier passed near the Chinese territories of Hong Kong and Macau, where fierce winds woke residents during the night. Schools and flights were canceled, and many businesses were closed. Residents had been stockpiling food and other supplies, while businesses taped their windows and lined sandbags along entryways. Kaylin Williamson, 36, who moved to Hong Kong 5 years ago and works as a brand manager at a consulting firm, said Ragasa was the first major typhoon he had experienced. Quote, "I have had water coming through the kitchen window," he said, unquote. The Hong Kong Observatory issued storm warning signal number 10, the highest in its weather alert system, at 2:40 a.m. local time, 2:40 p.m. Eastern, Tuesday. An hour after it issued the second highest warning signal, number 9, at 1:20 p.m. local, 1:20 a.m. Eastern. The signal was lowered to number 8, the city's third highest. Maximum sustained winds as high as 120 miles per hour were recorded on the island of Lantau, home to Hong Kong. And you can see photos of the wind just blasting through Hong Kong, and
that's so scary. I mean,
the southern Chinese province.
You can be inside and have the weather literally come through your kitchen, as that guy said, or you could be outside and get like basically blown away or worse. I mean, it's like, where do you even go? It's crazy. That's so scary.
Just higher mountains, higher hills. It's all you can do. And you basically Katrina your way through a natural disaster.
I wonder how long basically they have rooftop, like as a alarm time.
I believe that based on what the article said, it ended up being between 24 and 48 hours.
Oh, okay.
Because they were able to get their food, sandbags, etc. Basically, think of it like how Florida does their alarming for hurricanes coming in. It's like 72 hours. But let's see, 112 miles per hour, according to Hardy Harmonica, indicates about category 3.
Oh, wow. Okay.
In the States.
Oy. Goodness. Okay.
So, but yeah, it's one of those things where you're glad to have the early warning system. You're glad to have the ability to at least either prepare or evacuate.
Right.
But at the same time, in order for that typhoon to go between the Philippines and Taiwan, it ain't much. There's not a whole lot of ocean or water between the two islands. So it's like that threaded quite a bit of a needle, unless I'm mistaken.
Oh, wow,
yes, if you zoom in between Taiwan and the northern, island in the Philippines, I think it's Luzon.
Probably takes
there you go. Yeah, basically you have. I don't think it's called the Filipino Strait or the Taiwan Strait, because I think the Taiwan Strait is between China and Taiwan itself, but I think it's called the Strait of Luzon.
Does it kind of work like
all the islands?
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say, it's like, yes, we see the big island here in the archipelago for the Philippines, but you can see all the speckled green between
Yeah.
Taiwan and the Philippines. Those are the islands that they are talking about between, or how a few people were dead in the Philippines, and like fighting that with a few people in Taiwan that also died because of the typhoon. But a little geography lesson says Guam is about, I think it's about 1,000 miles southeast of Taiwan, and that's where most of the American forward deployment power is stationed, militarily speaking.
All right.
So,
Well, I mean,
it's all
what could I say?
all
Just
type
sending
season
prayers
out
to
there.
all those people. It's crazy. That's really scary.
You know, I will say that. Well, I will give you a little glimmer of hope, if you will. It's scary for the typhoons, but I can only tell you that it's even scarier coming to find out that one of the people that you may have had pass on unexpectedly, their case became a cold case. However, a beacon of light, if you will, has come to pass in the state of Oregon, where an 80-year-old cold case, damn near 80-year-old cold case, has finally been uncovered.
Yep.
Go ahead,
So
Diddy,
coming
take
to
it.
you from ABC News, this is actually wild, but police in Oregon say that they have recovered the partial remains of Oak Grove Jane Doe, evidence that had once been in police hands in the state's oldest unidentified person case after she was killed nearly 80 years ago. The remains of the unidentified woman were exhumed at Mountain View Cemetery in Oregon City, Oregon, nearly 80 years after the partial remains of a woman were discovered on April 12, 1946, in a burlap sack in the Willamette River south of Portland in Clackamas County, according to the Oregon State Police. Additional remains were found at several other locations in July and October of that same year near Willamette Falls, the McLaughlin Bridge, and again near the original site, police said. Clothing believed to belong to the victim was also recovered from the Clackamas River. Quote, an examination revealed the victim was a middle-aged white woman, likely between 30 and 50 years old and petite in stature. The cause of death was blunt force trauma to the head, Oregon State Police said. Following her death, the body was dismembered. The remains were placed in several burlap sacks before being discarded in the river. Police said that the case drew national attention at the time, but that the identity of the victim was never confirmed. In the 1950s, critical evidence, including the victim's remains, went missing from law enforcement custody with no documentation of their disposition. This halted further progress in the case. In 2008, the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office reviewed the case but investigators made little progress due to the limited physical evidence that remained. However, the Oregon State Police Medical Examiner's Office Human Identification Program learned the unidentified remains were likely interred at Mountain View Cemetery in Oregon City during a subsequent investigation. Although the recovered remains are degraded, they will undergo advanced forensics testing and analysis in the hope that modern science can accomplish what was not possible in the 1940s, identifying the woman known for generation only as Oak Grove Jane Doe. Oh, I just got the chills. That is so wild. I mean, you think like the killer's probably not around anymore. The immediate family is not around anymore. But I do like the idea of going through cold cases. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say is that the sad part out of all this is that, like you said earlier, the killer's probably dead. The immediate family is probably dead. So you're having to rely on grandchildren of the deceased who they probably never met in the first place. So they have no idea what to do. So it's like the case has gotten so cold for so long that when you solve it, it's almost like a hollow victory. Or
yeah.
God, there's a proper term for it. It's a Pyrrhic victory. That's what it is. It's like you won, but there's nothing to celebrate with other than the win itself. So
we should have a TV show about cold cases. That would be cool.
Dougie, hold on. It gets dumber than that. There is no TV show for cold cases, but there are subreddits dedicated to cold cases, excuse me. And Reddit has solved about 6 cold cases, I believe, just this year alone.
And you can imagine
cold
too
that.
Cold cases that what? Go ahead.
Go ahead. You can imagine how the cold cases get cold because the states don't talk to each other. Because states, hell, Texas and Louisiana, they don't share the same criminal investigative database. Let alone California to Texas or Texas to Massachusetts. They don't share the same data. They don't share the same databases. So criminals and murderers can go from one state to another and have a higher than not likelihood of just slipping away because they don't share the data.
Yeah, and I imagine the deceased was probably like just determined dead after like 7 years of being missing, because if she was known as Jane Doe, they obviously couldn't say for sure like this is your family member that's no longer around. You know,
there's a reason why the show's called The First 48.
I love that show.
The first 48 hours. I know you do. Most women do, and it terrifies us men. Because that's where you guys get your ideas.
We are the best detectives. Don't play with us. No, but yeah, I don't know what it is. It's so weird, but actually it's my husband who's always watching those shows, and then I'll go in there and I'll be like, "Oh, what's the deal? Like, what's happening? Did they catch them? Do they have any evidence what's going on?" But yeah, those are fun shows.
Well, I will say this. The case was done in the 1940s. Allegedly, I think the article explained it that she died in the 40s, and that technology in the 40s could not go ahead and solve her murder.
Right.
But I can say that 1950s technology got us to the moon. And now we're doing it again in 2026.
Another great segue. Yeah. All right, Nevassa.
Science alert.
Yeah.
NASA confirms first crewed mission to orbit the moon in 50 plus years set for 2026. NASA on Tuesday said it was on track to send astronauts to orbit the moon in early 26 as the United States races China to return to the lunar surface. Multiple setbacks have delayed the manned mission dubbed Artemis 2, which is now scheduled for April of 2026 at the latest and could come as soon as February. We intend to keep that commitment, quote unquote, said Lakeisha Hawkins, a top NASA official at a press debrief. 3 U.S. astronauts and 1 Canadian comprise the crew, which is expected to be the first to orbit the moon in more than half a century. But the mission will not land there. Achieving that goal is the aim of Artemis 3. The U.S. Space Agency's Artemis program hopes to return humans to the moon as China forges ahead with a rival effort that is targeting 2030 at the latest for its first crewed mission. When will they learn? U.S. President Donald Trump's second term in the White House has seen the administration pile pressure on NASA to accelerate its progress. The Republican leader who announced the Artemis program during his first term wants the U.S. Space Agency to return to the moon as soon as possible and also voyage to Mars. Okay. Both efforts plan to eventually build bases on the moon, which, by the way, yes, they are planning a train on the moon. It is true.
What?
I cannot make that up. There is a U.S. plan to build a train for its military base on the moon.
I'm not gonna lie, that's actually pretty cool. Like the geek inside of me is just chuckling. I'm just like, yeah, I want to see that happen though.
It is ingenious. Why? Because you can't use Land Rovers. You can't use dune buggies. Why? Because the moon is too craterous,
bumpy?
if you will.
Yeah.
Craterous, bumpy, same thing. But you want to know what can really get around and doesn't even need its own traction to work? Trains.
What?
It doesn't
That's
need
it.
traction. It just needs tracks.
Did
And
you
I
hear
say this
about
because, and I say this with.
What? I always cut you
Did I
off
hear
right
about
before
what?
you're about to
Typical,
do
like-
something. No, but
Well, I
there's
assume
like
there's a delay, but
yeah, there is. That's why I'm like trying. But the 24-year-old woman that's preparing to become the first ever to go to Mars, that she's like basically buying a one-way ticket to go there. Like she's put herself up for it. So there's like a lot happening. I wonder if we are going to see something major. I know this is the moon orbiting thing is planned for April 2026, but I feel like there's going to be a ton that happens over the next couple of years. What's up?
Biddy,
What?
give me a half sec. I have to address Dougie's question. Dougie, the answer is not only has there been, but they have actually done studies to try to make it as accommodating as possible for men to actually be able to perform in space.
So what would that be called? Because
Like-
you have the Mile High Club. What would that be called then? The Space High Club?
No. Mount Olympus. Because now you are with the god.
Right.
Because you're in the stars.
Right. Among the stars.
All I'm
You want the moon? I'll give you the moon. I'll
All
throw
I'm
a
saying
lasso
is-
around it. Yeah.
or just call it Operation Futurama.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
But
All
no,
right,
what
you
the
guys-
basically what the study
Yeah.
was. Hold on. All I'm saying is that the study was there to see how men can coordinate with women. Because as much as it hurts, it's a male problem.
Mhm.
Yes, we are at fault for zero gravity sex not being a thing.
Okay. I don't even want to think about it.
No, you're right. You don't want to think about that. You guys want to think about caption this.
Yeah. Let's do it. Oh.
Oh dear God!
All right, so if you're new to the show, this is that time of the show where we do our game caption. This is the AI generated photo, and we ask you, the audience, to please participate and give us a funny caption, and then Nevassa and I will vote on the best one at the end, the one that makes us laugh the most, and that'll be the winner. So we actually had a picture that was submitted to us by Rebel, but our producer Brian kind of spiced it up a little bit just to garner more captions. So I hope you don't mind, Rebel, but this is what we came up with, and thank you as always for your submissions. You're awesome. So yeah,
Oh my
Chat, take it away.
God.
Give us something.
First off, Aaron, Operation Orbital Bone, yes.
Ah!
Yes.
That's great.
Oh God. Rick, I know that reference. Screw you, but that's beautiful. I've got you up on my other monitor. So I hate that. I hate that reference, but it works.
I don't get the reference. What else is new? 238,855 Mile High Club. Nice, Hardy.
Oh God.
Yep, you're right, Dougie.
Did
That
they
was
use a
George Bailey.
flashlight?
My handsome doggo is into the dark forest.
That's not bad. That's not bad, Rebel, either.
That's mine.
I was thinking similarly, but Go about 2 steps further.
I don't know.
God.
In furry clothing?
No. This is mine.
It's a Rick said it's a reference to creepypastas. I don't even know what creepypastas is though. I guess I'm not as terminally online as I think. The Queen's corgis have arrived.
Well, it's also a reference to the Seven Nation Army from the Queens of England, or excuse me, from the Queen of England to the Hounds of Hell.
Mm-hmm. Corgis is so cute too. They're so adorable. They have like these short little legs. Queen dog back from the dead.
Rebel.
Come back to make sure corgi are on top dog.
Yeah, it's basically. Now, Rebel, I will say, I agree with the quote. However, why do you know that? I'm just an asshole, there's no doubt.
I was having sex in space and ended in a rainforest.
Dougie, why are you making it rain sweet and sour sauce?
Remember that dog you buried? Oh my god. Like Pet Cemetery? That is the creepiest
Oh my
movie.
god, that's Cujo. It's Cujo! We'll give it about
Zombie
another
dog right
2
back
minutes
from
before
now on, you bone. Zombie dog right back
Again,
from now.
Pet Cemetery or Cujo. Either way, it's a Stephen King book. Better book than the movie. And that's all I want to give credit for him because he is a psychopathic sicko.
Yeah, well.
Why the bananas though? Like, Dougie, Biddy, what the hell is going on with the bananas?
They're fun. Look. They're happy. That's my language between Dougie and me. It's the banana dance. Hardy said,
Aaron, why?
oh no.
Aaron, why? I love it though. It's beautifully
Go in,
evil.
switch into fight mode. Eyes go red.
When your corgi is based.
That
You know how they got, the based eyes is like the red laser eyes. It's like,
right, like the RFK Jr. eyes.
yes. Hardy, yes. There's 3 winners. There's 3. Brian, I'm ready to call for 3. Okay, you've got Aaron with the Chinese buffet, Hardy with the Daisy gummies, and Rick.exe.
Affirmation Fauci has been found.
Actually, cancel it. Rick, I'm sorry. Your Sonic EXE reference was great. There it is, Aaron. Confirmation Fauci has been found.
Yeah, Cujo was a dog with rabies. Yeah, it's like Pet Cemetery, like coming back to life.
Aaron, I got to give it to Aaron. She got it. Confirmation Fauci has been found. You Biddy? You got one better?
I like the first one that she did. And maybe
the Chinese buffet?
Yeah. Do we have how many people we got? Can we do a vote between the I mean, it's basically between the first Aaron one and the second Aaron one, but and then Daisy, did you eat my
if we're gonna
gummies
have
again?
More,
then it's hot. Yeah.
Again, personally, because I know the reference, I would also include caption this.exe.
All right. So out of those 3, so vote in the chat. Give us some help, you guys. So vote 1 if you want confirmation Fauci has been found. Vote 2 if you want Daisy, did you eat my gummies again? And vote 3, what was it? Caption this.exe.
Daisy gummies, yes. Number 3 is caption this.exe. There it is. It's in the YouTube chat, and I will post that on Rumble as well. But oh, you guys were good. Gummies. Oh. Like,
All right.
Rick, I appreciate the reference. I really do. We got a few 2s, a 1, a 3.
Well, you have to put 2 in 2 different spots. Yeah.
I will say, the Fauci comment could be made that much better, or that much more evil, if you will, by saying Fauci did unspeakable things.
I see all.
I see all. Wow.
All right, right now we got Daisy Gummies in the in the lead, but give it another minute.
Yeah.
Oh, and of course Erin never votes for herself, which stop doing
never.
That.
Never. So yeah.
Okay, so now we got I can't.
Okay.
1, 2,
I've got
3,
a coin. I've got
4 for 2. We got 1, 2. Oh, we got 5 for 2. Okay. We got 3 for 1. We got 2 for 3.
Yep. Sorry, Rick, but nope. It's Daisy Gummies.
Yeah, great submissions, you guys. I'm loving this. You guys are getting really good.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Mind you, Biddy, I don't know if you saw the caption. I don't know if you saw the image beforehand, but I haven't. I do not see the caption this before you guys do. So what you're seeing is a genuine reaction of, oh shit, get that away from me.
Yeah, no, I actually I don't always, but I did see the caption. That's why I was ready with mine. But I want to get away from us and being in the running and just let everybody in the chat just do their thing. Because in the beginning, we didn't have that many chatting, but now we have so many submissions. We could just go off of what's coming in the chat. But yeah, congratulations, Hardy. Yeah, that was great.
I will eventually make that into a shirt. Eventually.
Yes.
But
yeah,
making it into shirts and going ahead and actually claiming your prizes eventually. Follow us at riseofmiddleamerica.com. Join us on the Discord. We're always looking for producers, always looking for more talent, always looking for more people to help grow the Roman Nation Network. Because we can never have enough stuff. We can never have enough shows that are either going to be piloted, either hosted, or if you, like me, are a break in case of emergencies because people decide to either not get sober or absolutely just not show up at their appointed time in any way, shape, and form. That's what we need here. Because we can always use more people, more hosts. Get your name out there. Get your show out there. Get your project out there. But it's all done on the Discord. You have to be on the Discord to go ahead and partake in our shenanigans. And you can go to the QR
Nevassa.
code up there.
Yes, QR code, yes.
Or if Brian will actually show the website, because he is an alleged producer instead of graduating to an actual producer.
Well, you can go and see the website for yourself. Go to riseofmiddleamerica.com and you can see all the shows on there. We do have to cut it off because we have Roma Sports starting at 10:20 Eastern, so we got to get everything set up. But thank you so much, Nevassa, for hosting with me. And
for me?
Go get your snacks, go use the restroom, and come right back here because Roma Sports starts soon with Nevassa, Gorgie, and
Double
AK,
duty!
Of course.
That's what I'm doing.
Thank you, everybody, for watching with us and hanging out. I will try to get Nevassa chilled out before the next show, or probably hype him up because that's what you do for Roma Sports.
You're
but thank
fine.
you all. Happy Wednesday. Have a great night. Love you all. Bye.
So I got to thinking, there's MAHA, Make America Healthy Again. MAGA, Make America Great Again. But what we really need to do is make America follow the Constitution again. Motherfucker. That sounded better in my head.